you square the two? I mean, you have images like this.
That's right, 8 questions, but bottom line is the college students, their visas are being suspended because the State Department believes in national security threats.
Sir, not all.
And it's not about what they say, it's about what they say and what they do. First Amendment rights, I can't stay in a movie theater tonight and claim fire. There's a limit. When you come to this country on a visa or become a resident alien, that's a privilege that comes with certain responsibilities.
Yeah,
now, I'm not with the State Department. I didn't make the decision to cancel those visas, but our job is, when we cancel those visas, they're removed from the country.
Right.
As far as the others you talk about, we are forced in the community because of sanctuary cities. There's New York City, I'll say it again, New York City, you're a sanctuary city, you're a sanctuary for criminals, because we can't arrest a bad guy in Rikers Island, for God's sakes. We got to go in the and find him. I said from day one, ICE is going to enforce the law, unlike the lax administration who says, ICE can't arrest an illegal alien for simply being here illegally. They're rewriting federal law. No, ICE agents took an oath to enforce immigration laws, and we go find the bad guy, and they will. If he's with others, they're coming too. Prioritization doesn't mean maybe I prioritize my family life over my work life. I don't forget my work life. We're prioritizing public safety threats and national security, and that's what we're doing. The data proves it.
But the students who are just getting traffic summonses, you think they're national security threats?
I'm not involved with those investigations. I can tell you we're going to force immigration.
What I'm getting is, don't you think that those
prioritization doesn't mean forget about everybody else in the country illegally. Right. It's not okay to be in this country illegally.
Okay,
it's not okay to enter this country
illegally. They're not here illegally, right? They're here on student visas. But
well, we can talk case by case, but every case is different. I can't put them all in one bucket. I don't know the details of every investigation. ICE and Border to arrest thousands of people a day. I'm not familiar with every investigation.
But do you think that it all hurts this agency that is doing this kind of work to have them with images, wearing masks, stopping college students, taking them wherever? Do you think that
I think the American people elected Donald Trump to enforce immigration laws is exactly what we're doing. We're doing what the American people voted for. It's not okay to be in this country illegally.
Mr. Homan, I want to ask you about illegal, those who cross the border illegally. Would you want to deport somebody who crossed the border illegally, regardless of whether they committed a crime? And you mentioned ICE on Rikers. If ICE doesn't reopen their office on Rikers, what would you do? I mean, what would you want the city to do? What would you want the mayor to do?
It means we'll put more agents on the streets in New York. We're going to get the bad guy regardless. We'd like to give him, look, we didn't decide to lock him on Rikers Island. The local authorities said, why? Obviously, you're a public safety threat. And I think any member of the city council who's going to sue to end that agreement, based on what you see, this is just one example of what collaboration means. Why would you not want ICE to take possession of a terrorist member, a gang member, a public safety threat in the safety and security of a jail? It's safer for the officer. It's safer for the alien. It's certainly safer for New York, where we arrest a bad guy in the jail.
And deport somebody that doesn't need to be deported at that point?
Pardon me?
Couldn't they make a mistake like we've seen already?
There's been no mistakes.
Well, the federal government has made a mistake with at least one person.
Look, the details of that investigation argue that. The details, they missed the documentation show this guy the withholding removal. That was years ago. So what's withholding removal based on? Number one, doesn't qualify for terrorists. So off the table right there. Number two, the gang he was fearing of, it no longer exists. So the situation surrounding that case has changed. So I stand by the fact that this guy, this El Salvadoran national criminal alien gang member terrorist, is home.
And then following up on, if somebody crosses the border illegally and is here, would you still want to deport them even though they haven't committed a crime?
Absolutely, they committed a crime. Enter the country illegally is a crime.
What do you expect?
Well, it's
not really. They have asylum. They have paroled into the country.
See, this is what you never cover. Look at the immigration court data. Clearly shows 9 out of 10 people who make asylum claim end up with the order removal because they simply don't qualify for asylum. And people say, well, it's just innocent illegal immigration. But when you flood the border like the last administration does, where 70% on average of agents are off the line, what happened? 600% increase in sex trafficking of women and children. 250,000 Americans dead from fentanyl. A record number of people on terrorist watch lists crossing the border. Bad things happen when you lose control of the border. So what you call innocent illegal immigration, not criminals, it causes all these other bad things to happen because the criminal cartels have operational control of the border, not the men and women of the Border Patrol. President Trump, like him or hate him, he did in 6 weeks what the Biden administration couldn't or wouldn't do in 4 years. Right now, today, as I'm talking to you, we have the most secure border in the history of this nation. We did that in 6 weeks. So President Trump has proven. The last administration lied about a secure border. We showed them what a secure border looks like now. 95% decline, most secure border in our lifetime. ICE has arrested 3 times more criminals than the Biden administration has done. So men and women at ICE are sticking to priorities, public safety threats, national security threats, but if you're in the country legally, you're not off the table.
So the catch and revoke efforts of the local HSI office, are NYPD officers involved that are assigned to the task force, are they also working on the catch and revoke efforts that are being targeted here with the local HSI field office?
I don't understand. Say that again?
The catch and revoke efforts that are
Catch and
targeting
revoke.
students that HSI is involved with, that were just, the question that was just
You mean the
asked.
students?
Yeah, the students.
The students. Are NYPD officers assigned to the HSI task force also involved in those efforts?
No.
How is HSI,
in
these
approach?
suspects, Mr.
Because
Homan,
here you
these suspects, are they going to be tried or deported?
That's up to the local district attorney.
The U.S. Attorney.
And now there's some are going to be prosecuted federally. It depends. That's what collaboration looks like.
But can you explain the difference in approach here? You're bringing a RICO case against gang members. In other areas, the administration has preferred to bypass the courts and just put them on airplanes.
No, they don't bypass the courts. The local field office always works with a local prosecutor, a federal prosecutor. If they want to continue the prosecution, they do a writ and take them back into custody. Many times the prosecutors, you know what? Deport them. We'd rather have them deported.
In all these cases?
Not all these cases. I'm just saying it's case by case with thousands of cases a week, right? Where the local field office works with the local prosecutors and the federal prosecutor, if it's the federal criminal investigation, federal prosecution, to coordinate. Do you want to keep them for prosecution? We can make that happen. Do a writ and take them back into custody. But ICE collaborates with the prosecutors on what the next steps are going to be. But the end game is going to be, if they're in the United States illegally, they're going to be deported.
But I think in some of the cases in the habeas petitions, you haven't argued that you've brought these people into collaboration with prosecutors who've made a deliberate decision to bypass prosecution. You've just said you're a gang member and you're on a plane. Is that, what am I?
Well, you're talking about people removed on the Alien Enemies Act. It's a totally different ballgame. The Alien Enemies Act, and a lot of people are talking about it, President Trump invoked the authorities he has on the Alien Enemies Act, a law that was passed by Congress, written by Congress, passed by Congress as a statute. The difference between the Trump administration and the last administration, we're using laws on the books. We're not making this up. We're enforcing laws on the books, using every tool we got to remove terrorists from this country.
Do you think Mayor Adams has done enough to collaborate with ICE, or would you like to see more?
I would like to see more, but I know he's in a tough position when you got a city council that's fighting him all the way. Plus, you got a governor who doesn't support what we're doing here today. I mean, as soon as they found out that a mayor is going to work with us to get in Rikers Island, you got the governor come down and try to get him removed from office, and the city council is following. Look, anybody from the city council here today? Speak up. Find that strange? No member of city council is here today to look at what collaboration means. Well, they're going to sue the administration, stop us from going to Rikers Island. Regardless of what the judge decides, or regardless of what the city council thinks, there is no sanctuary in the United States for Tren de Agua MS-13. Either you let us into jail in the safety and security of a jail to take them into custody that makes New York City safer, rather than what we saw here, or we get them on the street.
And what more would you like? What more
This is
from
going
the
to be our
city
last
government would
question,
you like?
folks. This is our last question.
There are hundreds of thousands of children that were trafficked in this country in the last administration. Many are missing. And I'm hoping the NYPD will help us find some of these children. Some are in sex trafficking. We already found some. Some are in forced labor. We already found some. Not all of them. Some will be with family members. But I would like the NYPD, who has one of the best intelligence divisions in the world, to help us find some of these victims of trafficking. I think that'd be a game winner for everybody involved.
Mr. Homan, you talked about collateral arrests. Can you say how many collateral arrests were involved in this 27, or give us an update on the field office's efforts in the past 2 months since interagency team started making arrests in New York City?
Well, the rest of fine. We have to go through
How many?
We're not going to walk away from what we're going to have.
How many were involved in the 27?
All right, everyone, thank you so